Look behind you.
Yeah. You need it for your little conference room?
Yeah, there's what's on there. No.
Looks
You
nice.
don't need that TV?
Oh, it's on the whole.
No. We'd find a home. Want a big TV?
No.
Okay. We got the 2 screens down there at the meeting room, so that's, I don't know why we would need another TV in there. Something else in the way. It is touch screen. Toss it around, look around.
Yeah.
Sell it to you.
Cheap.
I got 8.15.
I moved them over here.
Oh, good. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will call this meeting to order. This fine, warm, beautiful, sunshiny day.
I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda if there are no corrections or additions to it.
Seconded.
We have a motion, a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion?
You want me to put back up and put the meeting minutes in there with it? I've
It
read
is in
them,
there.
I've approved them.
It's
Or you want them
a,
separate?
Yeah, it's on
It's
the
on the
consent.
consent.
Okay. All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Liquor license, you said we have to revise one, Amber?
yep, yeah, E-Stop changed their effective date after we approved it, so we just need to approve it again.
Good.
I will make a motion to approve or reapprove E-Stop because of effective date.
Yep.
I will second that motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed or abstain?
Oh, staying.
Motion carries. Any public comment? We will go to meeting updates. I had a juvenile detention, a couple phone call meetings, had some equipment break on us, so we got to fix that, keep the food cold and keep the place warm. I did have a meeting with the new tax laws that are being considered for sheriff sales through the state of Iowa. That's a board that I was picked to be on, so nothing really happened yet. It was just some discussion. So other than that, that was it. Mr. Sayers?
I attended the Board of Health meeting. Caitlin Walter started her first meeting. She did well. I think that'll be good.
Good.
Talking about grants, all the people who are employed by public health gave an update at the meeting. So it was a little bit long, but it was good for everyone to fully understand what they do for the people of Mills County. I went along to the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting with Lonnie last week as well, just because it's the first one of the year. I wanted to see how it operated, make sure people knew who I was and I knew who they were. And then also on Friday, I was invited to go to the Veterans Affairs meeting. I went with Richard. Elizabeth Richardson, the director, invited me. There was some good conversation there as well. That's all I did.
Is that the second Board of Health meeting you had in 2 weeks? You said the last one was 3 hours. Did the same one.
Maybe it was the same one. I don't know.
I was just wondering if there was something else.
Oh, no, it was last week.
What do you got, Richard?
I attended the Veterans Affairs meeting, our regular meeting on Friday of last week, where we discussed, possibility of moving to the annex. The board decided after some conversations and mulling around on things that, our next board meeting, which is 14th of March, will be held at the annex. Either during or after the meeting, we're going to take a tour of public health, discuss what we're looking at, changes possible, what they would like to see. They have scrapped any other entrances to the building.
That would be nice.
I believe that come out of that, right, Jack?
Yeah.
After that, during that meeting, I had to leave early for a GRC meeting. It was an informational meeting. I can tell you things are moving faster than we had anticipated. That's about all I can give you on it. What's going to take place and things. Most of the people have their own thoughts, theories on it. But right now, things are moving at a faster pace than we had planned on. So, only thing we're guaranteed so far is the 2 drives that they're talking about putting in off of 34.
Mr. Ferrari.
All right. First up, we have a discussion of FM route in Henderson.
Come up here, Joel, please. You met before, right, Jake?
Nope, new Joel,
Yes.
Jake, county engineer.
There.
Alrighty.
Yeah, Joel, I think you were gone the day that Jake came over.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
All right, so kind of like Greg said, I had a meeting over at Henderson's, kind of where that conversation started. We have a FM route that goes through the town, and they so who is Candy? Is that city clerk then?
Yes.
So the city clerk is the one that told me that they were interested in transferring the maintenance and repairs and construction, if that's the case, for that route back to the county. The way it's set up right now, found this, and Iowa DOT IM references Iowa Code 306.4 for any town with population less than 500. It says specifically the county is responsible for the maintenance of the FM extension through that town. However, in most cases, there is a 28E agreement that allows the cities to take that back over, and then the amount of tax money that we receive for that FM route we transfer to them. So it's not a lot. I don't know if you know the exact. I know for all the towns, it's about $22,000 a year that's split. So we're talking in the magnitude of like 5,000 or something. And we transfer to them each year for the maintenance of that road. So they would like to basically end that. We would no longer transfer them that money from the road use tax fund. And then we would just treat it as any other county road as far as plowing, pothole patching, crack filling, anything like that. So did some digging, found the original 28E agreement or the latest revised one at that. Talked with John from the county attorney's office, and he drafted a termination of the 28E agreement. And your understanding is basically we sign this and then
Yeah, and then we'll have
we'll
to
file
file
it.
it with the Secretary of State like we would if we were making a 28E file determination in the same manner.
And then once that's approved, then basically would honor their wishes and we would take that road back over and then no longer transfer to them. Twice a year, I think, as we transfer funds to them, to the city. So.
Well, going over there, if I remember correct, it was 4,500 that you get transferred to take care of that road, around 4,500. We all know you can't do much with 4,500 these
Because
days.
it's 19 when the flood came through in 19. We had there's a dry creek that runs through town. Well, it run over that road. So we had to get that fixed. We ended up working through FEMA to get FEMA to pay for it because the city still doesn't have money to repair it. I mean, it was over $100,000 for the road after that, so we can't afford it with what we get.
Yeah, yeah.
And we only done a portion of it. We didn't do the whole truck route, you know,
Might
so,
need it fixed.
so we can't afford it. It's not worth it to us.
Good.
Yeah.
That's where we stand.
And you guys formally voted on it
Yes.
last week, right?
Second Tuesday was on Jen.
Yep, yep, that's what I thought, yep.
If we could get those minutes, that would be nice.
All right.
Send them to Amber and or one or all of us.
Give me an email address, send it 2 hours, or something like that.
Oh, my.
Have a copy for our files.
Since we are here and it is on the agenda, we could sign this now, wait till we get those minutes and then file that.
But you need a
As long as
motion,
he's good with it.
a motion then for the board to approve.
Motion to terminate the 2080 agreement.
Thank you.
Oh, that guy. Sign
Oh.
termination.
The important one behind it.
So let me see the full title here. I'll make a motion to terminate the 2080 agreement between the city of Henderson and the county of Mills for transferring jurisdiction and control of farm to market extensions within the city's corporate limits.
Do we have to number that road or anything, or is it all right with just farm and market?
It shouldn't require any additional signing.
Okay,
It's not that you're aware of out there.
95th Street.
I'll second that.
Good. We have a motion and a second to terminate the 2080 agreement for 395th Street on the north side of Malvern. It's just on the north side, correct?
Not bad.
Or, sorry, yeah, Henderson.
It goes through.
All the way through it? Okay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, one
Go
question, does this take effect immediately then, or?
No, it would be after it's filed with the state.
Okay.
So, one second, hold on.
I'm in favor for it, I just want to make
Sure,
sure
okay,
that we need to put a date in.
Vote again. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you, sir.
John, on here for the mayor, we have a test by the city clerk. Can we have them?
Yeah,
sign
they
that?
can sign it and get it to me, I can still.
So I can just have her sign that and.
Yeah.
Notarize it, yeah,
All right, well, she's over, she'll have to have somebody else.
sure.
All right,
Any questions?
Nope.
I'll have them sign it.
Okay.
Get it back.
That sounds good.
Or could she, scan this and email it?
Yep.
Back to this address.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. All right.
And we'll also need the minutes from that.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Get a copy of that, Jack,
There you go.
also, just we got a paper trail somewhere. The more to have it, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. The next item on the agenda is consideration formal action approval design contract for 2 bridge replacements.
Okay, so we had some meetings with HGM, talked this, some options we had as far as box culverts and bridge types. And so we kind of got a direction nailed down. And this is for on Painter Road, and the north of Grist Road, south of Prison Brook. But you're right at Cheryl back from the phone. For that bridge there. We would have liked to put a box culvert in there, but after kind of looking at the layout of the land and the right of way widths, we determined that a bridge is gonna be easier, that way we don't have to purchase additional right away. We have to take out farmer's fence. And so.
Good.
We're gonna go with a bridge on there, most likely a standard DOT concrete beam bridge. Still some discussion whether it's gonna be a beam or. The design fees will be the same. Both contracts are very similar. Same type of bridge on 215th Street. It would be the north or south Norris. It's right there at Norris. Just north, I believe. Norris or the west.
Good.
Take it south from 221st out of Glenwood. 215, keep going west. Up north. Yeah,
Oh,
Norris,
I'm with you.
Norris south.
Okay.
It's right there. Yep. So this would be utilizing our highway bridge funds, so federal funds in our county account, and then, or county state account, I should say. Design contract price for the Finger Road Bridge is not to exceed $62,500. And for the 215th Street Bridge, not to exceed $62,435. They'll begin design immediately on this, and then we would look at a letting. So letting and construction would be in 2026. Probably spring 2026.
Good.
Spring, summer. Being that they are on same track of road, we'll probably try and space them out 4 to 6 months apart, so we don't have feet over going around.
Not many ways across. Good. Good. This is moving forward with the design, correct? Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve design contract for 2 bridge replacements. One on Painter and one on 215th, right?
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the design contract for Painter Road and 215th and Norris Bridges, 2 bridges for replacement. Is there any discussion? This is planned in a budgeted item, correct?
Yeah, it's budgeted. Design gets kind of weird because it always overlaps.
So yeah.
But we do have budgeted that.
Sure. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Is it okay from signing?
Yes, sir. Any other general discussion there, Mr. Jacob?
Really not much general discussion items. Having my crew check-in meetings this week and next week. It's something I just kind of meet with individual crews every year, just kind of one-on-one with them, see if they have anything to bring up. Talk over the year, review projects, equipment needs, stuff like that. So, doing that this week.
Good job pushing
You
the
know,
snow.
as long as you get compliments, once in a while you get slapped too. So, blacktop north of, Malvern Interstate, is it 315?
Seal coat.
And a seal coat,
Yes.
people are complaining that there is rough areas, you know, they're just potholes or, you know, chipped out and stuff, and I don't think we can do a whole lot with it this winter, right?
There's not much we can do right now.
So I told the lady, I says, well, ma'am, I says, you just can't slow down.
Yeah.
She says, well, that means I have to leave early. But no, she was just bringing it to my attention that, you know, we didn't get that one taken care of. And I said, well, it's on the to-do list, I know. Okay.
Yeah, that's one that we have in consideration. We got a couple marked out for this next year of redoing, and then that one, there's about 3 others that we we want to put them in the mix or not. So, we're gonna drive those roads, me and the foreman, and then the snow heads, so just kind of waiting to clear up so we get a good look. If we don't completely redo it or completely redo the edges like we did 250 feet, we will be hitting the soil patch this spring.
Okay,
So that is one that we are aware of and plan to address it, but not much we can do right now.
no,
Okay,
okay, that's all I have.
Right.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Sheriff?
Morning.
Morning.
Get a couple things on the road first.
2080 agreement, or, yeah, law enforcement agreements. We submitted 2080s.
So we did probably a substantial increase. You see the dollar amounts, we went 10% across the board for all the contracting cities. In Mills County, I don't have the summary with me, but the most was between $200 and $300. It's a pretty minimal amount. Looked at other contract opportunities across Southwest Iowa. Fremont County does an 8 hours a day in the city, and then charging a little under 1,000. We're still about 3,000. We feel it's still a pretty good deal. When I went to the city council meeting over in Henderson a while back. I had all of them. I just had minutes there, but I sent it down. For Henderson's, we had about 600 hours over the course of last year that we were actually in town on contract time. Work it out on an hourly basis to about $5 an hour. So with the 10% increase, we don't feel like we're on the line.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And we're going to provide the services no matter what. It just by having that contract in place. But one of the deputies from through town, we actually asked to get on the contract and say, going to be here. And they said they were anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on how the night's going. Especially in the afternoon and night shift, about making sure they hit the contract down to make sure they spend full time there. So, what I'm bringing to you is the 2080s, the certain contracts. For each one, they've been signed by the affected mayors. So I just need approval for both the chair and as well as the auditor and myself to sign.
You have everyone?
Yes.
You waiting on any? Okay,
All that.
good. What do you think, John?
I'll make a motion to authorize the chair to sign the law enforcement service contracts with the following cities: Emerson, Hastings, Henderson, Malvern, Pacific Junction, and Silver City.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the law enforcement service contracts with Emerson, Hastings, Henderson, Malvern, PJ, and Silver City. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. $5 an hour.
Pretty good deal.
I can't remember the last time we raised,
I don't know if we have either.
I'm gonna say goose.
I think
I'm
that's
serious.
right.
I mean,
Yeah, if it was, I think Travis was kind of adamant against it. And Joel, you might remember better when the last time was we raised the contract rate.
No,
It's been several years ago.
yeah, I can't remember that.
I got some. And then the second item that I've got for you, we've been in contact with Iowa Proving Industries. Basically, our blinds, our window dressings that are inside the sheriff's office have aged. They're starting to curl pretty bad because they're creating some gaps and some lack of coverage. We're going to look at different platforms to try and take care of that. In particular tonight when the lights are on inside, you can see inside pretty well. There's some, I guess I'll call them officer safety concerns. somebody drives by, they can see that somebody's in there, take a pot shot. Obviously, we haven't had that problem yet. We prefer not to. So we looked at some different things. You can contact the Iowa Prison Industries. They now offer, I guess I'll call it a window dressing, for lack of better words. It's almost like a film. It'll go on the outside of windows.
Outside?
Outside. Yep. It's gonna look like that. This will be the design of the south side of the building. There's all the windows are pieced out individually with each of the windows. We think it'll look very professional. It'll, I guess, our needs and our wants as far as that, not having something you can see through. Still be able to see out of them, won't be able to see into them. So we think it'll be a pretty good deal. The other two, the windows that are on the deck of the room, it's on the west side of the building. We just had the sheriff's star, and we're actually going to then put not a public entrance on one of the other window with an arrow pointing in the direction we need to go. We do have a tremendous number of about, I say probably 75% of people who have never been there end up walking towards that back door, knock on the door, and then we have to tell them to go around the front. So we're hoping that will alleviate some. There's 11 windows, but there a couple of these are, because they're blank, they're not going to cost as much. But at this point, we believe that the total cost is going to be right at no more than $7,200. However, because we need to check, make sure that's okay. Like I said, I have the rendering. I thought I had the other sheet with me. Apparently, that actually looks out the total now. It's going to be right around, depending on the design on that how we work to put on that other window with the public entrance this way. Actually cost a bit, but like I said, at this point, we're thinking it's going to be around 6,500 to 6,800. In the event that we happen to go over that, and somebody that 7,200, right? With your permission, I'd like to go ahead and move forward with that.
But you haven't even looked into new blinds or anything like that?
No, we haven't. And the
No, I haven't either, but.
yeah, by all means I can, just because right now, knowing what blinds cost, they're going to be pretty, but I will absolutely, if you let me see, I can see it as capital cost.
People have funny ways of looking at things. People have questions.
Sure. I would be more than happy to do that, because I don't think it would.
I like this concept a lot better than I do putting on blinds or anything, but if you can get a quote from somebody, that's all I'd ask.
Yep. I'll ask you not to take any lead on that. I'll bring back different costs, other costs, so we have comparable.
I know, I really, being you would be doing away with your window shades and stuff, or maybe you'll keep them, I don't know which, but.
We did for sure just roll them up out of the way.
Right.
Because there's a tremendous amount on the outside edges. They're they're not like these where they're just a single plastic one piece. The edges have started to curl in, so there's gaps. Pretty
Yeah.
But yeah, I will get you a comparable cost, and I'll bring those.
See, out with these, but not in. Correct. The blind, you'd have to raise it over.
Yeah. Sure. So I'll get that.
Put that on next week then?
Yep, they will. That's all I have.
I have nothing else for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Building and zoning, consideration of formal action for professional services contract. You guys get this rewritten?
Yeah. They're going to incorporate all the things we discussed in prior meeting. Then we contain the 30 days termination notice of this by party written notice to 30 days. Availability requirements will change for consultant be available based on the needs of the department.
Hourly.
Amount, and then the payment rate will change from the annual to the hourly rate. That would change from the basically just the amount and turn it into an hourly rate based on 40 hours a week, or excuse me, 15, I believe, a week for the year. That comes out to 96 an hour.
Thank you, Greg.
And we also added in some language related to the invoices, that invoices with sufficient detail will be sent to the auditor's office in the event there's any lacking of detail that the auditor's office has the authority to say, requesting a little more information as to that, such as our staff form, things of that nature. That was everything I had from all of the input I got at last meeting board.
You were able to revise the part where it said consultant will act in a full-time capacity.
Yes, it just said we based on the needs of the department. Also the extra work, Matt stated he doesn't anticipate any extra work being necessary. I took out the initial consultant consultation part of the extra work portion, which obviously only needed the first go around when we're evaluating the department.
Right.
I removed that part. I left in the other extra work services. They can only be performed if authorized by the board. In the event that they're requested, it will be also billed at an hourly rate. It's not a set price. So that was the only other provision. We took out the initial consultation. The other extra work services are listed in there, but they can only perform if requested.
Good.
Well, I think this, by doing this, we're dotting our i's and crossing our t's, making sure that the contract aligns with what it is supposed to be. And, you know, Matt, you're pretty helpful in the building and zoning department. I appreciate having you. You know, I think it's a good contract. I think it was important to keep in that 30-day clause. As you know, in case we find someone that is highly qualified that wants to do the job, then you know, we'll kind of have that transition then. But the last thing we want to do is not extend your contract because it expired last week, did it not? Yeah, it expired last week. Last thing we want to do is not extend your contract and have permits and things like that building up. So I'll make a motion to.
Real quick, I'll read out the availability requirements just so that it is, if there's any changes that we made, I can run down that real quick. This is what we have for availability. A consultant shall operate in a full-time capacity. Consultant shall be available based upon the needs of the department. Consultant shall also be available by appointment upon request based on the needs of the department. This availability is subject to change, may be increased or modified at the agreement of consultant and county representatives board and based upon the value and needs of the department.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the professional services contract with Rural Services LLC.
Yes.
That's right. With
Rural
that. Rural Planning Services LLC.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the professional services contract with Rural Planning Consulting. LLC. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Anything I need to sign, Jack, or any of us?
And then, that's it.
Down to the auditor, you know where I'm at.
Then I'll get copies and email copies to.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, John. Thank you, sir.
Amber Farnan.
Yes.
Can you state your name and who you're with, please?
For my address too.
Your courthouse.
Requesting approval to hire a universal clerk. Somebody's passed all their pre-employment stuff. This will actually be a part-time position to start, and maybe transition to full-time, depending on the needs. Right now, we're looking at $25.73 an hour, no more than 29 hours a week, which includes a 6-month probation period, which time I'll ask for a raise. They meet all the qualifications.
And you're 2 people down right now, right?
I am 2 people down.
Yeah, and there's a lot on the auditor's office plates.
There is.
So I'm going to make a motion to approve the hiring of universal clerk at a part-time basis at $25.73 an hour.
Less than 29 hours.
less than 29 hours,
Less than 29.
less than 29 hours a week.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the hiring of a universal clerk at $25.73 an hour, less than 29 hours a week, which would be no health insurance benefits, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Any other discussion?
When you say universal, will she be working on real estate, anything, or is that gonna have to be totally a different person?
Anything we need help with.
Okay.
There's a,
Universal.
there's a legal description class coming up that we will be taking, and then some budgeting. Just whatever we kind of need help with. And,
All right.
oh, beginning date will be February 24th.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Lyndon, where's your legal description writing class at? Is it online?
No, I think it's in Des Moines, and I think it's,
Okay.
I just found out about it, so it's like 2 days.
That's what I said.
Yes, but through the assessors board, I think.
Just citing land surveyors helps out with that often.
I can forward you that information, I just.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Okay. Consideration formal action, substance abuse grant.
So the substance abuse grant was held through public health. They no longer have somebody who is administering the grant, even
We
though
had it at church, wasn't it? Sorry.
I'm not sure. It was like a $10,000 grant or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
Yeah,
it required a $30,000 match.
but required a $30,000 match. And it was held underneath the Board of Supervisors. And a fun fact, that the Board of Supervisors never actually signed any documents saying that we had the grant. Alex Hurd signed the document.
I was not aware of that.
So if it's okay with both of you, under the advice of the Board of Health, as well as Caitlin, our nurse, they have asked us to terminate the grant contract. So I will make a motion to terminate the substance abuse grant.
So this had not been signed by a board of supervisors for some time, or do you rightly know?
And
I don't
none,
recall seeing it in 12 years, Richard.
in none of the paperwork that I have seen, none of the paperwork that they have down there, they can't find anything that says Board of Supervisors had any of their fingerprints on it. Look at the grant contract, it's signed where it says Board of Supervisors, signed by Alex Hurd.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second to terminate the substance abuse grant with, that's okay. The existing substance abuse grant, public health, I'll call it that. Yeah.
Being canceled, right?
Yeah, to terminate, yes.
Terminate.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Better. Thank you.
Well, I don't think I should apologize or anything, but this was some of the things that I was trying to get the Board of Health to come around with over 2 years and never could get anyone to step up and say, well, we've never done this. So,
We have a very, I would say, qualified and hardworking Board of Health right now. And they're really trying their best. So I appreciate everything that they continue to
and I've
do.
also stopped in Friday and
Stuck
talked
around, I
to
did too.
Yes, they are.
Caitlin and a couple of the workers down there on Friday afternoon, and let me tell you that it's nice to have someone that understands, is realistic about it. She says, I believe we can make this work. She says, we're gonna try. I mean, she's involved. I mean, you get the feeling that she wants to see it through, so,
She does.
you know, that's a lot different than when you get no comment from anyone, so. And the people that work with her seem to like her, so makes a big difference, folks.
Any new business?
Richard, is this one you wanted me to bring up the annexation?
Yeah, if either one of you got questions and stuff, I talked to Matt yesterday, you know, about going to the meeting tomorrow and stuff, and,
The annexation?
you know. You know, I just, you know, I'm not, I'm gonna be honest with you, Lonnie, I have read that legal description and, there's places in there I get lost, so.
Well, and that's one thing I do for a living, and that was my biggest concern when this came about. There is a project, I'll call it north of 370, that would benefit both counties. And when they asked for the voluntary annexation agreement with us, I had no problem with that. But when they needed it for this area and they're taking this area, that was my problem. And to be honest with you, I still have a problem with it, but I don't know if there's a lot we can do because they're within the 1 or 2 miles. So,
And that's what I was telling Richard when he called, when we talked on the phone yesterday about it. He'd asked if I was gonna go to the hearing. And I told him I usually do not go to these hearings because once the cities have issued what they want to annex.
this is a city issue, not county, right?
Right.
Council Bluffs.
Yeah, and it could be any town. So,
But yeah. But this one's with Council Bluffs, not Pot County.
right.
Yeah.
That just, I mean, it doesn't really do a whole lot of good to go over to the hearings. I mean, you have further questions or maybe you wanted to talk about it. The only thing I thought was, you know, that maybe they would have reached out to Jake about what they're gonna do for road swaps, road agreements. They don't have the equipment to take care of gravel roads. So counties end up doing a lot of that. Other than that, I tried to just focus on the positive side of it, what this must mean is coming to the area.
Yep.
Which, they're gonna do, the council is gonna do what they're gonna do, but I wish they would have grabbed some more, obviously. Try to square some things off, but maybe this will drive some bigger changes in that area that will be up there. That we can oversee. Whatever's coming in, you know, for those industries, they must have needed, you know, fire service and sewer, water, all those things that we provided. But yeah, no, once the city's any town issues one of these, it shows what it is. I mean, there's little that the counties can do to influence it. So.
Well, the Board of Supervisors states here, no later than 30 days after the consultation, the Board of Supervisors shall be by whether or not it supports the annexation application, whether it takes no position in support of or against the application. And from my understanding with you, even if we register opposed, it doesn't mean anything.
Right, and so normally, and if you further down in there, you don't issue one.
Yeah.
So it just goes through.
And then they can do it anyway.
Right.
But even if we issue one, they can still do it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think in the time, you know, the 20 years or whatever I've been around doing this, we've maybe seen issue one of those. The rest of the time, it's just they come, they go, you know, get a date stamp file, we pass around the GIS departments. So that way that's the boundaries come around and get remapped. But, I mean, I don't know who told me this at one time, but they're like, you know, the county's goal, our ground is only ever going to get smaller. Right? The towns get bigger.
And that's what you want is your towns to grow.
Yeah. Right, and that's going to show that should show like the health of the communities and stuff.
Question, I mean, probably doesn't mean much, but still, I wonder.
This is our county line right here.
Yep. Okay, according to the map and stuff here, we go about, I'm just gonna round this off, about a mile or so on 370 from the railroad west, you know? Okay, Then, that leaves sections up in there. Well, it comes on the south side of Vanderheggs and so on. Takes in the cattle. Does it take in the cattle part or not? Where they're gonna build,
Looked like it, yeah, it looks like it.
be in this
Yes.
far corner than Mona. Yeah, okay. All right, that was I just wondered whether, they was gonna have to come back later and ask, or, can they advance this later in years? Well, okay,
Yes.
they've asked to annex this portion now.
Yes.
And clear up here in the northwest corner past the cattle company and stuff, there's still land that goes to the river.
Right.
So can they ask to take that on?
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't even have to ask.
And there's no rule regarding, so now their city limit's gonna grow. And then it's gonna be 2 miles out from that.
Yes,
and then
sir.
Wherever they grow from that, it's gonna be 2 miles out from
Yes,
that.
sir.
So theoretically, they could grow
Yes,
how
sir.
long they wanted to.
That is a
That's
fact.
why the last
Same
study,
with Malvern, same with Emerson, same
Yeah.
with Glenwood, so, yeah.
it was the last time when, it was 2 years ago now, that study that was done on the city council plus, that's why the study area was actually done out 3 miles. Just for that anticipation this time around, because normally it just been a 2 mile study area, well, then the town grows and you're moving out to unstudied area. So this time we did it 3 miles out, and then that way as the town grows, at least you have a little bit of a buffer, it's already mapped, ready to go. You should have already an idea of what it should be.
Okay.
So I just,
No, it's good questions, Richard.
Yep.
well, yeah, and then as we go on through these and stuff, then we can ask our questions of how far south are you going over 370 or Bungie Avenue and stuff? Are you going to take, is the city going to take all of it? Instead of going just to the center line when they have all the industry on this side and we still have all farm ground and stuff on this side to pay for.
Well, one time they wanted to annex down to the north right away line of Bungie and leave us with the maintenance, so they would get all the tax.
Yeah.
And we would get all the road input, so, or not input, but, cost.
Costs. Yeah, that's my biggest worry.
That is a concern of mine too. I mean, if they're coming down to the middle of Bungie, just from the looks of this, I haven't read through the legal description yet. Or are they coming down to the middle of Bungie?
The map looks like it's coming out like.
Good. That's one question I would like to have.
Yeah, that's my
Answered if one of
main,
us are gonna be there.
Yeah.
And
But
then
we have-
who's gonna
we have
maintain it?
we can still go through that, right? This is just a preliminary.
No, I mean, this is what they're going at.
This
This is
their final
And
draft.
then we can't change anything or can ask to change anything.
I mean, you can have
Road maintenance, that's a big question. Do we plow half the road or do we plow all the road? If the northbound lane breaks up, is that Pot County's? If the westbound lane breaks out, is that Pot County's? If the eastbound lanes need replaced, is that ours?
And I mean, and that would be done through city council,
Yes.
Cox is the public works director.
Yeah.
Who arranges all this, those swap agreements.
That would be my biggest question, because that's
So
an
should
expensive
we-
road. If we're gonna lose some of the tax base from it, I want them, and they're gonna gain it, they can maintain it.
This kind of leads in, should we ask the engineer then to contact this guy
You
for
could,
tomorrow?
Jake
And
has already said that they should go all the way down to Bungie. That's what he emailed me.
I mean, are they gonna take in all of Bungie?
All the Bungie or not half of it? Yeah, that's my question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jake says they should take all of Bungie, not
Yeah,
half.
right. Yeah, no, I've
I
said
agree.
that for years when they started this a long time ago.
because what you'll start to see is that because of the county's development and building regulations that they have, they're gonna come, if they come down there, you'll start to see a lot more interest on that county side of what's there. Because it's faster to get permits through, they can get going quicker on projects on those things, which in essence, the city should not necessarily want to have, because in their mind, it's not going to be built to their standard.
Yeah.
Right, so that's kind of a, we'll give and take on why you.
Well, we
would
had,
want to take
You know,
it.
if the cattle company was building and stuff, we were supposed to be redoing the intersection there, WSI, you know, to help out with the traffic there and also off of,
Now it's theirs.
well, that's what I'm saying, you know, cause we backed out of it because they didn't do anything for the last 4 years. And we didn't think it was a good idea sitting on this RISE grant application all this time, you know, holding somebody else up from getting it, so we just terminated it.
Well, I'm sure, and Mark could probably tell you more, but I'm sure with this economic development project that's landing down there, it's would probably, you guys might at the time maybe have a 50-50 RISE grant. Maybe this one will actually qualify for the 80-20 RISE grant. It's gonna wind up going, you know, up 192nd Street up there distance to include Fundy on us. Is what I.
Well,
Yes,
I
they're
was
pushing forward.
told by two of your good buddy supervisors that we would be getting a cement bill because they was going to pave all of, what you call it, 182nd,
192nd Street.
192nd. I says, why would we pay you any money until you pay us? We won't pay you. If,
There's a lot of development potential in that 192nd Street area.
Oh.
And it's, I mean, it's growing. So sooner or later, yes, that I imagine 192nd Street will be paved from top to bottom. There's just a lot of industry that's looking to go in that
Well,
area.
that's another issue. The west line of this annexation runs up this proposed RISE grant area for Cattlemen's. So it's just gonna be a 50-50 RISE grant thing now because it's half county, half city limits? Or who's gonna drive the bus on the RISE grant for that new road if and when we build it to go to Cattlemen's?
Will it be the city?
Even though it's only half theirs?
I would imagine the Capitals must have told us something different. They're only going for half.
Sure. Yeah, just a question.
Yeah.
last grant money we put in was the road that goes in front of Bungie and stuff, or Sire. And that was proposed by Pot Mills and Hitachi.
Yeah,
Hitachi
everybody was involved.
was the company building Mid-America Energy.
Hmm.
And they were the lead company or the lead independent person on it. And Pot County did so much and all we had to do was spread the gravel on the shoulder. That's our push. It works well when it works.
Yeah. But that's what I know of it so far.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. Good.
Want to make an adjournment motion or want to spend the whole day here?
Make a motion to adjourn at 9:07.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn at 9:07. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ladies and gentlemen, we're adjourned.
You got your hat on for, Matt.
Oh, ball head gets cold.
Where are you?
Hey, relate.